Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Grant Ellis of The Bachelor made his ultimate decision to marry Juliana Pasquarosa over runner-up Litia, but I believe Grant regrets his decision. Grant, a former professional basketball player, was cast as the lead in The Bachelor Season 29 after being on Jen Tran's season of The Bachelorette in 2024. Grant's good looks and personality kept him on the producer's radar, and when they chose him as the next Bachelor, it seemed like a no-brainer for Grant. In the end, it came down to Juliana and Litia, and while it appeared like Grant would choose Litia, he surprised her by telling her he wasn't her person during the final. Litia was taken aback by Grant's decision, as he had been claiming all along that he envisaged a future with her. He even told Litia he loved her before saying it to anyone else. Now that the dust has settled and Grant and Juliana have been on the press circuit, I believe there are indications that Grant regrets his decision and should have picked Litia. After the final aired, viewers online noted that Grant's sister, Taylor Ellis, did not appear to be enjoying the program while sitting in the crowd with her parents. Taylor made a few appearances on the show, most notably during the first episode to show the other women that she was very protective of her brother. Taylor, sitting in the audience, squeezed between her mother, Renee, and father, Robert, couldn't hide her dissatisfaction with Grant's choice. Fans also pointed out that until recently, Taylor did not follow Juliana on Instagram, but she did follow Litia. As of this writing, Grant's sister has unfollowed Litia and is now following Juliana. However, this raises issues about Taylor's approval of her brother marrying Juliana. Taylor's nasty expression during the reunion exacerbated the speculation, but Grant clarified to Us Weekly that this is simply how his sister seems. They, Juliana and Taylor, have an excellent bond. Sometimes I have to tell my sister, "Dude, fix your face." That's simply her. She has this boss mindset, I suppose. I'm not sure what that is, but it's my sister, and she adores Juliana. The internet will develop a narrative and then run with it. We know what we have internally, so that's what we have to work with. During the climax, Grant appears to be defending his sister's scowl, and I truly hope Taylor's thoughts on Juliana could be revealed. Of course, Taylor will publicly defend her brother, but I'm interested what she actually feels about how this all played out and whether she believes Grant made the right decision in choosing Juliana. Taylor might be more sympathetic to Litia because Grant treated her poorly in the end. Grant had a great relationship with the runner-up, Litia, and even told her that she would beat his choice as the final approached. It was such a strong bond that Litia accused Grant of leading her on before blindly selecting Juliana. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Grant seemed obviously uncomfortable while addressing the final with his fiancée Juliana by his side. Grant persuaded Juliana not to watch the final, and she appeared fine with it. From what I heard, he handled himself very well, she informed the interviewer. Grant sits next to her, a pained expression on his face. No surprise that this is a highly awkward subject to have with your new fiancé. When the final decision is made, there will undoubtedly be bruised feelings, as there have been in previous seasons of The Bachelor. A show featuring one person dating numerous people is intended to spark tension and drama, but as the season develops, a clear frontrunner emerges. Grant seemed conflicted throughout the season. Grant said in interviews that he had said everything he needed to say to Litia, but I disagree. Even though Grant and Litia had the opportunity to speak at the conclusion, I believe Grant avoided answering some of the harsher issues, such as why he told Litia the night before the final that she was his choice. I'd love for someone to sit down with Grant, Litia, and Juliana and ask them all the questions they want from Boston, and Grant currently lives in Houston. After becoming engaged, the two, like other couples, must determine where they will settle down. Grant and Juliana say they'll move to Boston in an interview with People, but Grant doesn't seem to be sold on the notion. So they're moving to Boston, but Grant says he'll only be there for a while. and he'll keep his Houston residence. That hardly screams settling down. In fact, Grant appears to be carefully picking his words to avoid stating that he will be relocating there to live with Juliana full-time. Grant's last two selections are completely different women. Juliana is easygoing and bubbly, and she appears to accept Grant as he is at the moment. She didn't even watch the conclusion as Grant requested, because she trusted him to make the correct choice. This demonstrates that Juliana is the easier decision for Grant, as she does not challenge him for not watching the conclusion. Litia, on the other hand, is slightly older than Juliana. Litia stated from the start that she wants to have a kid within the next 2 years, which presumably worried Grant. Juliana is happy to let Grant go with the flow and see where life takes them, whereas Litia desired a companion who could match her level. She thought she had found it in Grant, but it turns out he was not who she thought he was. Too unfortunate there won't be a season of The Bachelorette this year, since I'd love for Litia to find love on another show. It was a night filled with drama, heartbreak, and tension that could only be found on The Bachelor. The season final of The Bachelor season 29 had everyone on the edge of their seats, waiting for the final decision that would change the lives of 2 women and 1 man. That man, Grant Ellis, a former professional basketball player with a charming smile and an even more captivating personality, was the latest lead on the show. Having first appeared on The Bachelorette in 2024, he quickly became a fan favorite due to his good looks and undeniable chemistry with the women. Grant had built a reputation on being an emotionally open and genuine man, something that only added to the stakes when he was chosen to be the Bachelor. Throughout the season, 2 women stood out as potential matches for Grant: Juliana Pasquarosa and Litia Gare. Both women were strong, independent, and beautiful in their own ways, but it was clear that there was a strong connection between Grant and Litia early on. Grant was drawn to Litia's calm and graceful demeanor, her intelligence, and her ability to challenge him in all the right ways. She was easy to talk to, and their conversations flowed effortlessly. On the other hand, Juliana was fiery and confident. She had a magnetic presence that drew Grant in. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind, and their connection, while different from his bond with Litia, was undeniable. Our podcast is for anyone who's done love backwards, Grant joked on their first episode. In early fall, they moved into a cozy townhouse in Silver Lake, a compromise between Grant's love for quiet spaces and Juliana's big city heart. The move wasn't seamless. Boxes everywhere, an argument over furniture, and a broken coffee table later, they finally sat on the floor with takeout and looked around. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.